What supernatural event caused this? So let's see what questions we have only on Paranormal, True or False. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. So for this clip, we have a live streamer using his cell phone to try and figure out what's going on with this staircase, because as you can see, the lights are flashing on and off. I don't know if he's in an abandoned building or a newly abandoned building with some electricity. I'm not sure exactly where he's at, but one of the entertainments about live streams are the chat's messages. Everything from jump to run to slow down, call the police. Just different things like that are just, comical to me when you watch any type of live stream. But with these where it gets creepy like this, where their suspense is building, and then all of a sudden he just starts running down the stairs, which adds to the suspense. It just adds to the entertainment value of these type of live streams. So he keeps running down these stairs, and I'm not sure if he's running from something or trying to find something and running towards something. But either way, he's just hauling butt downstairs. And then all of a sudden he pans up and we have a dark shadow person. Or a human being in a costume. And of course now chat is saying run. But I don't know how much of this is staged. But like I said, it's entertaining. I'm just not convinced it's real. If I owned an abandoned building that people constantly trespassed on, not only would I put on a dark cloak, I would probably get a sickle and walk around like the Grim Reaper. But considering that's flesh right there, we know this is not a shadow person. Is this creepy? Absolutely. Would it be scary if you were alone and you encountered something like this? Absolutely. But, would you stand around and just keep taking pictures of it? Or would you run? If you were not expecting this. So I feel like it's kind of staged. But either way, run, dude. And he does. I think I'm gonna get a Grim Reaper costume inspired by this. Are these things cryptids or an alien species? We can see this odd looking critters on the ground here with red eyes, looks like frogs, look like they have antennas. Just absolutely creepy looking. But what are these things? Are they a known species? Are they a cryptid? Are they an alien species? Or is this a frog or a toad that has been computer graphic changed to have this type of weird beak-like base, red eyes, and the antennas? I also can't tell the size of these things. Are they an inch long? Or are they 4 inches long? It's very hard to tell. I'm not sure on this one. What do you guys think? Are these cats tripping on catnip? This kitten appears to be seeing something we can't see and starts trying to attack it and swats at it. And even lays down and tries to back away from it, and even tries to kick it away. Did they spy a ghost? This kitten is looking out a window and is simply interacting with what's out there, most likely a bird or squirrels in a tree that's outside that window. I have two cats. One of them will just act really weird during the autumn months when the leaves are falling and just will constantly hit his nose on the window trying to get to him. But this is another cat that looks like they're trying to get to something and swat at something. Now, this could just be a bug that this cat is swatting at. It could also be something, a cat toy. But for me, on this one, the pillow on that chair is much more creepy than what this cat is doing. That almost looks like a pit bull staring down that cat. Is this woman possessed? As this woman is walking down this aisle in this store, she realizes a package has fallen, so she walks over, picks it up, looks at it, and then sets it back on the shelf. When she sets it back, she drops items, then she starts convulsing like she's being possessed, and then she collapses to the floor. Another shopper sees her collapse, sets her basket down, and goes over to check on her. But there's such an aggressive reaction that it startles the woman into taking a step back. Others start showing up to check on her, but again there's this aggressive reaction that causes others to fall or take a step back from her. This continues for several minutes and more people surround her, and it looks like they're trying to pray and exorcise whatever demon possessed her out of her body. Now, of course, the original shopper that went over to check on her, she's whipped out her cell phone and she's recording the whole thing. I think this is another Asian movie that has been brought into an English market and passed off as real. Scariest thing about this clip is that price tag switches from $15 to $37. Hopefully you can get to the cash register before it flips to the $37. Is this balloon possessed? This janitor walks into this classroom and he's showing different balloons, but he points out this red one because apparently this red one is freaking him out because it follows him. Did you see it move towards him just now? He's getting really frustrated with that balloon following him, but he's going to back out of the room and that balloon is just going to keep following him. I don't know if he's using a broom to create static electricity or if he's wearing a polyester uniform that causes static electricity and is causing that helium balloon to follow him. But I do know this. Balloons are the least scariest thing in the world, and I know how to pop them, and I'll risk going to hell popping that one. Is this evidence of sinister activity or savior activity? So we have an infant that is laying in a crib, face down, when all of a sudden their leg gets pulled up into the air as if an invisible force is yanking on it. I know we have this knee-jerk reaction of anytime we see a child seemingly be attacked, we immediately think it's sinister. But there's something called sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. And we have learned over the last 30 years not to put infants down in a crib or in a bed face down. For many decades there was a belief of, hey, don't lay your child down on their back because that will cause their head to become misshapen because all of those bones in the skull are still soft. So people would put them down face down. Problem is if they're not to an age where they can roll over on their own, anything that obstructs their mouth and nose they can't roll over or turn their head to be able to breathe. And they attribute face down sleeping as a cause for SIDS. So I look at this scene and I think, oh, the spirit's trying to save them. If you're worried about a baby's head becoming misshapen, you can lay them on their side and prop them up with pillows where their breathing cannot be obstructed. But in this case, it's very worrisome to see a child face down. And I hope the spirit managed to turn them over, or somebody did. Sorry, no joke for this one. Is this woman possessed or drunk? Allegedly, this woman is drunk, and all of a sudden she just starts flopping around on the floor, and then she starts walking up the stairs backwards, like she's trying to reach for the person with the camera. Is she possessed? This is definitely something that drunk people would do. So I can't really say possession when drunk people will act this way. You know, it's just a drug that eliminates inhibitions. But she just reminds me of a Minecraft player that's hitting her head on the stairs all the way up the stairs. Is this a supernatural event? We see just an average traffic intersection when all of a sudden that van gets lifted up and the next van gets lifted up and a car gets lifted up. Seemingly for no reason whatsoever. If you haven't seen any videos that debunk this, I wanted to take the time to debunk this for you guys. On the right side of the street, there is a street sweeper, a vehicle that sweeps the street. It has picked up a cable that is running across the street. And that cable is blending in with the road, but it picks up the two vans and then the car on the right. So to help you with the visual, I'm going to put a black line across the street where the cable is at. When the sweeper catches it, it moves it forward, and that's what caused it to catch the back end of the one vehicle, the front end of the second van, and then the back end of the car on the right. It's just the angle that cable has been pulled in by that street sweeper. Fortunately, only the vehicles were clotheslined by this cable and not the people on the sidewalk. And I will say that would have been a scary accident to be in. Or around. But it's not supernatural. Well, I guess this is one way that street sweeper makes sure that they have job security. And we have another poltergeist. Or do we? So once again, we're in some type of a classroom or school setting. He looks at his watch. It looks like it's like 2:58 or something like that. It's almost the witching hour. I don't pay attention to, midnight or 3 a.m. because ghosts no longer clock in or out. So they're not going by midnight or 3 a.m. So for us to impose our time zone on a ghost is always ridiculous to me. But at any rate, he walks into this classroom and he'll look around the classroom in such a weird way where he really looks at the floor. Then he looks out the window, looks around the classroom. Not much is happening. He kind of looks out the window again, pans the camera slowly throughout the classroom, and then we have to look at the watch again. Did you see above his hand that chair move? He immediately moves off to the one corner of the room instead of moving out of the room, and another desk will suddenly start to slide. This is one of those where, it's like he was trying to time the activity, and that's what makes it suspicious to me. is because, oh, let me stand right here in this spot and have you see over the top of my wrist that desk move. I don't know what the big deal is, though. It's just the history teacher in the Harry Potter series, or it's Peeves the poltergeist moving these desks around. Is this electrician being stalked? Supposedly, this man is working alone when somebody walks by the window. Or something walks by the window. I don't know if this is happening in the United States or not, but anybody that's working on a job site, they're going to be supervised by either their own supervisor, security, a janitor, or the owner of the building or manager of the building. Because what's scarier than a ghost is a lawsuit. This is definitely a close call. All of a sudden, this big rig swerves into the other lane to avoid a human being crossing the road. I have looked at this and slowed this down many times. I know that this guy is wearing dark pants, which caused his legs to blend in with the front tires, and then he's wearing a lighter shirt on top, which is kind of blending in with the metal on the truck. I can tell with the reaction of all the vehicles that there is definitely something there. I also can tell, unless this is a movie set, that was not staged, because the cars pulled off the road to accommodate that semi. I don't know if this is a case of this guy was trying to self-exit. I do know if I was in any of these vehicles, I would have to change my pants. But it's very possible this guy was just trying to find the chicken that crossed the road. Is this an abandoned building or abandoned children? As the camera points at this abandoned building, it pans up and we see children in the window above. Are these children ghosts? Or are they abandoned or run away and are just hiding out in this abandoned building? I'm not sure about this one. Is this staged? Or are we about to have a family reunion? You can shop at echopearlcreations.com, which is the official website for Paranormal True or False. You can go to producerjimriley.com to learn more about the man that makes all the music for this channel. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Remember to question everything. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.